and welcome to today's episode. My name is Tom Rolley with System.io.dev. It is a public holiday here in Australia today, or at least in New South Wales. Not so much in the other states. For whatever reason, they had a bunch of public holidays beforehand, but New South Wales had the Queen's birthday. It's not actually her birthday, but apparently this is the holiday that we get for it. So it brings up an interesting situation that I've run into before. For one of our peculiarities is that our house has its rubbish bins or its trash taken out on a Monday. Now, this could be okay, except when it's a public holiday, it doesn't feel the same. Typically, I'm coming home from work on a Monday and I'm like, oh, it's a Monday, I've got to take the bins out, got to take the trash out. And I had been caught before where on the public holiday, because it doesn't feel like a work day, I'd forgotten. Now, this has consequences. This is a pretty unpleasant situation where the rubbish just gets more and more, and suddenly I'm dealing with this highly compressed, difficult, stinky, icky trash can. I'm like, this sucks. So after a while, I realized that there were a bunch of other ways to work out that it was Monday. So I could look at the street and notice that my neighbors had put the bins out. I could look in and try and remember what happened last week. And my situation is that we have every 2 weeks the red bins collected, and every the week after, and then every 2 weeks is the yellow bins. So it goes red, yellow, red, yellow. So I could look in the bins and look which one's fullest. So there's a bunch of other ways, but I still had to remember that it was a Monday, and all of these have risks as well. So after a while, I went, you know what? I'm going to put a calendar entry in my calendar to take the bins out. Now, you may well have that as well. Why? Because it makes sense. It's a trigger to take out the trash. And that taking out the trash, I want you to think of that as a very simple system. Like literally, it's like, yeah, take the bin and walk it to the roadside. But that nonetheless is a process. It's a single process that fits within that system, and that system gets run every week. One time for the red bins for me, and then a week after for the yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. And that's all successfully triggered and run every week in my house because there's a calendar entry. Now, the insight for you that I want to get to is that you should have your business systems on a similar schedule. So you will have systems in your business that are being run daily, that are being run weekly, that are being run every 2 weeks. Some are being monthly, some are being quarterly, and some will be yearly. Now, all of those should actually be in your calendar or your team's calendar. And when they come up, great, you are reminded to run that system. Suddenly, your system, as long as the people actually do the work, and let's assume that they do, that the reminder comes and they're like, yep, I've got to do this, then they can go ahead and do it. Now, the only possible exception about this might be something that's done daily, like this training. For me, this is a daily occurrence, whether it's a public holiday, whether it's a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday, this training gets done. And so I don't tend to put this in my calendar. What I do get if I miss a day is my VA saying, hey, where's Thursdays? But at the end of the day, I'm checking through that. I'm thinking, have I done my training? Have I done this live training for you? So that's the only one, but pretty much everything else, in fact, everything else, I'm working towards, or I already have them on recurring schedules. Now, the elite step is if you have your systems documented, then you can duplicate the system and run it so that your template system remains intact, ready for the next usage in a week, in a month, in a year's time. And you have a working copy that you can deploy and execute. So not only have you got the system reminder, you also have how does this system work. Now, this might be less on a daily system. You're like, I did it yesterday, I did it the day before. You don't really need the reminders, but on something that gets done less frequently or something that is done with very technical steps, having the documentation makes all the difference in the world. And really, if you are looking to sell, or you're looking to go on holidays, or you're looking to go on to your next venture, then you are in fact going to need even your daily systems documented so that someone other than you can run them. If you need help with this, if you would like to learn how to deploy systems, run processes, and have the capacity to either go on holiday or have a business that runs without you, or sell at a valuation that is significantly higher than a business that does not have any documentation, then head over to systemio.dev, go take the training there, and if you're a match, then we can meet up and talk about your specific situation. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue this journey into the power of systems and processes in business. See you then.